Pain arc, for me the best part of Naruto. After hundreds of episodes of build-up, several plotlines are tied together, creating one of the best stories in fiction. And it was built in a way that made all the arcs after it look weak, insignificant. At least for me. The bar was set incredibly high, but what actually makes it this good? Sure, one of the answers would be the amount of crazy things that happened during the arc, and we will go over them in a bit. But I have another answer for you, and if you want to find out what it is, stay with me and let's find out this hidden feature of the Pain arc. Let's go. This event was the first thing that propelled the story onto a different level. It made us understand that Kishimoto was serious this time, and it was truly devastating. And yeah, you might have already guessed that, but by Pain arc I mean everything starting from Jiraiya's death and up until Naruto's fight with Pain. I know that most people don't really consider all of that Pain arc, but for me it's really connected and it makes sense to talk about all of it at once. So yeah, back to the topic at hand. One of the most beloved characters in the series dies in one of the best fights in the series. It also introduces us to the best villain in all of Naruto in my opinion, and later in the arc he will show us why I gave him this title. And we all know, like, it had to happen. It was necessary for Naruto's character development. And even though Jiraiya's death was shocking, it wasn't the craziest thing that happened during this arc. The next event is a much better contender for this title, because I'm talking about... yeah, probably the greatest plot twist in all of Naruto. And it is actually a perfect example of a completely unpredictable plot twist. Because to create one, you have to first create a number of features and details that leave you no doubt that the information you have right now is the correct one, while in reality, it is actually a lie. But those features and details have to be even more fitting to the truth behind it all. It has to fit both a lie and the truth perfectly without ever raising suspicion. And then when you're finally revealed the truth, it suddenly makes sense. It all makes sense. And this Itachi twist was executed perfectly. I mean, there are questions that I have towards Itachi, because if he's just putting on an act of a villain, there was no reason for him to do some things that he has done. There was no reason for him to put Kakashi in a coma, right? But whatever, it was so great that I can actually forgive Kishimoto some little missteps. And on top of all that, this plot twist also completes the creation of, in my opinion, the most complex character in Naruto, that being Sasuke. I mean, you can't learn something like this and stay the same, right? But enough about this, because we are closing in on the greatest thing in Naruto. After Jiraiya's death, Naruto trains to surpass him and finally avenge him, but he was still too late to prevent the absolute horror that his village faced. Yeah, this whole thing was just insane. Characters were dying left and right. You couldn't believe your eyes. Pain was going up against basically the entirety of the main cast, and he was winning. The stakes were getting higher and higher each episode. Like, several characters die, the village is destroyed, Naruto arrives, Hinata seemingly dies, Naruto fully transforms, and this episode of Six Tails Naruto vs. Pain with this goofy yet fantastic animation was immaculate. But the beauty of Pain in this arc is not only in that, because the main conflict is the thing that makes this arc really special. The infamous cycle of hatred speech was the direct counter to Naruto's ideals. It worked really well, and the craziest part is, if you think about it, Pain was right. And it's not just his motivation was understandable, he was literally right. He was trying to create some sort of nukes, but just from chakra, from Tail of the Beasts. Nukes that we have that made us more peaceful. Even though not all the wars have stopped, we are significantly more peaceful than we were 100 years ago. And Naruto, he wanted to create peace, but he didn't want to take any measures that would have a chance at that. And as a result, if you've seen Boruto, that world is far from ideal. His ideals were more important to him than peace itself, and as a result, Naruto failed and Pain was 100% right. And yes, in the regular villain fashion, his execution was a little bit off, so to speak, but his motivation was completely understandable. And even though the conflict itself was so great, it is not the thing that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. There is another thing that makes this arc truly special, and it is pretty simple, honestly, because this arc made you feel like this is it. The main thing thing that makes this arc special, really special for me, is that it feels like this is literally the finale of the series. And in reality, it is both great and terrible for the whole Naruto franchise. Let me explain. It really doesn't feel like Pain is just another regular villain. He feels like the final villain of the series because he kills so many people, or at least it seems like it, and he destroys the Leaf Village. And then Naruto seemingly fully transforms into Ninetales for the first time. Like, this is truly some last episode stuff. But out of this emerges one problem. The rest of the series, everything after Pain arc, it falls short. As I was watching it, I was thinking like, there's 300 episodes left. What are they going to show me after this? There is no way that they can top all this. How? And I was right. They didn't. After this, it felt like most power-ups and most plot twists were just forced because he was trying to surpass Pain arc, but he never could. It always felt like he was doing it just for the sake of moving the plot forward, just because the characters have to be even cooler, even stronger, and so on and so forth. That's actually the reason why I didn't really feel much when I first saw this. Naruto's 6 Paths transformation. For me, it was really the best example of Kishimoto trying to push things even further just for the sake of keeping things interesting. And as a result, it felt like next he could grant him the power to destroy the universe, but I still wouldn't really care that much. In Pain arc, behind every idea, every event, there was always something backing it up. Behind the power that Naruto gained, both Sage Mode and Ninetales, there was foreshadowing and narrative implications for him to achieve that. Hinata seemingly died just so that Pain could prove his point to Naruto and to bring out the evil in him. And honestly, it also gave birth to one of my favorite scenes in the series, which I'd love to show you, but unfortunately copyright doesn't let me do that. But just so you know, it's Naruto's transformation after Hinata's death. And also the destruction of the Leaf Village. Like, part of me thinks that it was just a flex, but also another part of me understands that it did a great job in upping the stakes and also building up Pain as a godly and horrifying villain that he is. And all of that, it wasn't empty. It made narrative sense. There was long build up to it and it paid off. But after the Pain arc, for the most part, it wasn't the case. In the War arc, since Kishimoto created Ten-Tails, he had to create a Jinchuriki of that Ten-Tails. And then he had to create someone who could beat that Jinchuriki. So as a result, power creep just got worse and worse and worse. After that, he created Kaguya that is even beyond all that, but I'm not really sure why he even did that. I heard some people saying that it was actually Shonen Jump that made Kishimoto create Kaguya just so they can make Boruto after, but I don't know how reliable that information is. But if you think about it, it kinda makes sense. And about the plot itself, I'm not gonna lie, I still have a lot of my favorite moments happen like after the Pain arc. Madara's arrival and Obito's reveal and backstory were just amazing, and there are other things too. But if I look at the story overall, it doesn't feel as connected, it just doesn't feel as good. It still feels like Pain arc wasn't surpassed. So yeah, even though Pain arc was then the conflict with everything that comes after it, I think it was still worth it. Because by pushing those boundaries, Kishimoto gave us one of the best arcs in anime. He played our emotions and expectations like a master, so that after watching it, we would be left with a strong belief that we would never watch anything like this ever again. Subscribe for more anime content and see ya.